Good morning, good afternoon. Today we're going to talk about relative pronouns for people and things. It's unit number 13, page 89. First, we have to know what relative pronouns are. And basically, we have three relative pronouns. We have who, which, and that. We're going to use who to we're going to use who to join clauses about people. Which it's going to be used to join clauses about objects or things. And finally, that it's going to be used to join clauses about objects or things and also people. So we have three relative clauses, who, which, and that. And as you can see, that we can use it to talk about people and also objects. And if you answer an exercise in the book or in the exam using only that, it's going to be correct. So we're not going to be using that too much. We're going to try to use who and which mostly. Okay, so now that we know the relative pronouns that we're going to be working with, we have to know what it's a clause. Here we have this word. To join clauses about people, clauses, and clauses. But what is that word? What is the meaning? Okay, it's pretty easy. I'm gonna tell you the answer. Relative clauses. On the screen, you can see two sentences. Sentence number one, she is an actress that is excellent in both dramas and comedies. Sentence number two, he is a famous American actor who is also a successful director and producer. So we have two normal sentences here, as you can see. But these two sentences are formed by three parts, three ingredients. The first one is going to be in red, color red, which is going to be the main clause. This is the main clause. The second ingredient, the second part, it's going to be formed by the relative clause. I'm going to change the color. It's going to be yellow. Okay, so this is called the relative pronoun. And finally, the third part is going to be in color blue, blue color, the rest of the sentence. It is actually from the relative pronoun to the end of the sentence. This part, it's called the relative clause. So we have the sentence, she is an actress that is excellent in both dramas and comedies. And it's formed by three parts. As I said, the main clause in red, she is an actress. The relative pronoun, which is that, and the relative clause, which goes from the relative pronoun to the end of the sentence. The main clause, it's only the first part of the sentence, as you can see. The relative pronoun, it's going to help us to join the, wait. It's going to help us to join the main clause, the technology. it's going to help us to join the, wait, give me 1 second, I'm stuck here. The relative pronoun, it's going to help us to join the main clause with the relative clause. The main clause by itself, it has no sense, it makes no sense. Like if I say, she's an actress, then some information is missing. We need more information about that clause. So what the relative pronoun is going to do, it's going to help us to add more information about that. Okay, she's an actress, but then what? What about that? Okay, so we add the relative clause and we say, she's an actress that is excellent in both dramas and comedies. This relative pronoun that can be changed. We can also use who because we are talking about a person. So we can use that, she's an actress that, or we can use who. She's an actress who is excellent in both dramas and comedies. Okay, then we're gonna do the other sentence. He's a famous American actor who is also a successful director and producer. And the same idea. In this sentence, we have 3 parts. We can divide that sentence into 3 parts. The first part, it's going to be the main clause, which is from here up to before the relative pronoun here. He is a famous American actor. We are talking about he, a person. So the relative pronoun that we are going to use, it's who. Okay, we are talking about a person. So the extra information that we are going to add to the main clause, it's going to be with who. He is a famous American actor who, and finally the rest of the sentence, the rest of the information, who is also a successful director and producer. So that's it. Those are our 3 parts. The main clause, he is a famous American actor. The relative pronoun, who, which it is used to link or join 2 sentences. And finally, the relative clause. Okay, is that clear? Okay, so we're gonna continue with one example that is on the book. Let me erase this. Okay. That exercise, those 4 texts are on page 89. Page 89. And here we have some people talking about their Hollywood favorites. So they are talking about different people, different actors, and also different things like movies. And we can find some examples of relative clauses, relative pronouns, and main clauses. For example, number 1. Okay, we have. Okay, this is the example that we just did on the previous slide. So we're gonna move on to the second one. The first movie in the series came out in 1977. It's a science fiction fantasy. This is the main clause. That, this is the relative pronoun. And finally, the relative clause. Main clause, relative pronoun, and relative clause. Okay, Okay, it's a science fiction fantasy that has become a blockbuster franchise. This is our sentence with the three parts: the main clause, relative pronoun, and relative clause. In the third text, can you find the example? You can pause the video and check the answers for 3 and 4. Pause the video and try to identify the sentences with the relative clause, the relative pronoun, and the main clause. Ready? Okay. So we have the answer here. It's about a boy's toys. This is the main clause. That relative pronoun. Have a secret life full of adventures when they are alone. The rest of the sentence is the relative clause. Okay? Main clause, it's about a boy's toys. That, it's the relative pronoun, which is going to link the two sentences. It's going to join them. And from that to alone, it's a relative clause. And finally, number 4. She is an actress that is excellent in both dramas and comedies. This is the example that we did in the previous slide. She is an actress, main clause. That or who, remember you can also use who because we are talking about a person. She's an actress that or who is excellent in both dramas and comedies. Okay. So we have one exercise that you are going to do. In this exercise, you're gonna combine the sentences using relative pronouns. We know that we have 3 relative pronouns: which for objects and who for people. And as I said in the first presentation, in the first slide, you can also use that for everything, but we are going to try not to use it. So we're gonna only use who and which. So you're gonna combine the sentences using relative pronouns. We're gonna do number 1 as an example. Jennifer Hudson is a singer, period. She's acted in several films. So we have 2 sentences. And what we're going to do, or what you are going to do, it's combine or join these 2 sentences into one. So it's going to be something like this. Number 1. Jennifer Hudson is a singer. That's the main clause. This is the main clause. Then we're gonna combine it with the relative pronoun. We are talking about Jennifer Hudson, which is a person. So we're gonna use who. Who. And then the relative clause. Jennifer Hudson is a singer who has acted in several films. That's it. We have the main clause, the relative pronoun, and finally the relative clause. So you're gonna do number 2 to number 8, and you can do this on your notebook. The answers are on the next slide, so pause the video, complete those sentences, combine them, and then we're gonna check the answers. So here we have the answers. And as you can see, we have the relative pronouns in red. And we did number 1 as an example. Number 2, the Phantom of the Opera is based on a French novel, which or that was published in 1911. I told you that it's for everything, but we are not going to use it. I'm just putting it here because it is valid. It is correct to use it, but we're going to try and to avoid using it that much. So Spider-Man and Transformers are successful franchises which, because we are talking about objects, in this case movies, were adapted from comic books. Michael Keaton is a famous Hollywood actor who, because we are talking about him, a person, began his career as a cameraman. Number 5, Dakota Fanning is an actress who, again, we are talking about she, who made her first movie when she was only 7 years old. Number 6, Wii Fit is a video game. We are talking about a video game, it's an object. We're going to use which helps people to get more exercise. 7, Stephanie Meyer is an American writer who wrote the Twilight series. And finally, number 8, many Hollywood stars live in Beverly Hills, which, here we have only one answer, which is a small city near Los Angeles, California. Okay. Oh, sorry. There is also another activity on this slide, activity letter B. Complete these sentences and then compare your information. Well, you cannot do that, but you can complete these sentences. We have 4 sentences with only the main clause. So you're gonna complete it by using the relative clause and the relative pronoun. For example, Adele is a singer and songwriter. Okay, what extra information can you give me about her? Adele is a singer and songwriter. But as I said, what else can you, what other information do you have about her? Who, because we're talking about a person, who, I don't know, who is very talented. That's my example. Number 2, Fantastic Four is a movie franchise. Fantastic Four is a movie franchise. We are talking about a movie, so we're going to use which, or we can also use that. Which, in my opinion, the extra information that I'm going to give is, which is very boring, in my opinion. So you can, I mean, you're gonna do 3 and 4, and if you want to change or do your own examples with 1 and 2, go ahead. But complete 3 and 4. I'm not gonna be able to check that because obviously it's online, but you get the idea. Okay, and finally, I'm gonna give you one activity. You're gonna send this activity to one email that I just created. It's going to be on the description of the video. What you're gonna do is a movie review, as it says here. In this movie review, you're gonna answer these 5 questions. What was the movie about? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? How was the acting? And how would you rate it? If it's good, if it's bad, terrible, amazing, any other adjective that comes to your mind. But you're going to answer these questions in a text format like this example. And as you can see in this example, they're using the relative pronouns, the main clauses, and the relative clauses. For example, we recently streamed Vermont, which he is going to give us information about the movie, which won the Academy Award for Best Picture in 2015. What was the movie about? He says, it's about an actor who made successful movies in Hollywood in the past and now tries to reinvent his career on Broadway. And well, you get the idea. Then the next questions like what didn't you like about it? What did you like? How was the acting? You're not like forced or obligated to use the relative clause, but try to include at least 2 examples of it. Okay, so send that to my email. It's going to be in the description. And if you have any doubts, send me a message on WhatsApp and I'll be helping you there. Okay, guys, thank you and bye.